Hello everybody, this is XStarKillerX here and welcome back to another World of Warcraft Top 10 Countdown. And today we are doing a top 10 list of the most infamous glitches to ever occur in the history of World of Warcraft. So let's get into this one. This is going to be a good one. Number 10. One-shotting Doomlord Kazak. Now, back in the original release of the Burning Crusade, it was possible to gain the ability to kill Doomlord Kazak in one single blow. Now, the reason for this, I believe it was the ability Marker Kazak, which will give you a buff of some sorts while decreasing another, which could back then be stacked infinitely, which would give you a massive boost, which could annihilate that guy in one hit. It has been edited now, so you can only get a stack of 5, and it is not a 100% chance of you getting one. What I do believe now, it has been completely removed, so he no longer does the ability. Still a pretty damn fine glitch. Number 9. Getting under Stormwind. Now this was back in the original release of World of Warcraft and has continued up to the release of Cataclysm. Now it was possible to, if there is a box next to a torch in Stormwind, where if you jump onto the box and then glitch jump your way onto the torch and then walk onto the wall, it doesn't have any collision detection, which means you can step on it and you will fall under Stormwind. Now, doing this will gain you access to all sorts of untextured zones, untextured buildings, and the inside of buildings which don't have any insides. So it's a really interesting glitch, which can unfortunately no longer be performed, but I bet it was interesting looking under Stormwind while I bet it was running on your head. Number 8. Martin Fury. Now, this was an item given to a player who was unfortunately hacked. He did eventually get all his stuff back, but as an apology from Blizzard, he received this chestplate called the Martin Fury, which would kill everything in a 30-yard radius. Now, he did pass this on to one of his friends, who went on an absolute rampage with it, running through all sorts of instances, being able to solo all instances in the game, just running through and using the Martin Fury's ability to kill all the bosses in the dungeon at once. Now, this wasn't intended for this to be used this way, and it was accidentally given to them, I do believe. And it was just mostly due to a cock-up on Blizzard's part, but still a damn fine glitch. And a damn fine item, and I hope it doesn't come back. Number 7. Old Ironforge Airport. Now, before the release of one of the latest updates where the Gnome's spawn point was moved into the airport itself, you couldn't actually access it. It was an aesthetic place for flight paths. But if back when it was originally like this, if you were to wall climb in Lock Modan using a very specific route, you would eventually get over untextured zones and all sorts of strangeness. When you got there, you would get all sorts of extremely, really weird stuff going on. You would get people punching fires. You will get random profession trainers and class trainers standing in absolutely random ass places. You'll get planes taking off and landing multiple times every minute. And the best part of all, you would find mountain passes which led into the abyss. So if you walk off into there, you're kind of done. So a really, really bad glitch overall. Number 6. Possibly one of the most infamous glitches in World of Warcraft history, the Corrupted Blood Incident. Now this was a ability which was caught from one of the bosses in a dungeon. It was given to your pets, which would then take damage over time, but it would spread to other players as well. Now, some players went into the dungeon and purposely infected their pet with this, caught it themselves, and then went to a major city and kind of caused a pandemic. There's no way of really putting that other than it caused a pandemic. It would spread onto other players, which would kill low-level players instantly. And of course, what this did, as you can see from the picture, is caused massive skeleton pile-ups in all the major cities of World of Warcraft. Now, this was eventually fixed, but it did take its toll, as many people did obviously die in inconvenient places, and it was just damn ass annoying. Number 5. The Death Grip across Azeroth. Now, there was a glitch where if you death gripped a player which was standing on the boat in Booty Bay, you would basically float across the whole of Azeroth. Now you would go through mountains, through zones which haven't even been textured, through instances which are in the mountains, which is pretty interesting. And eventually you would end up on a boat in this underground cavern which you can't really access. Now, most people believe that this was a test boat to test the route between Booty Bay and the other one on Durotar. But this is unconfirmed, and it was patched upon the release of Cataclysm. Number 4. Starting a battleground early. Now, this technically isn't a glitch, but you shouldn't really be able to do this. It was basically involved jumping over the start barrier to get onto the battleground early to capture bases and just cause havoc, essentially. What basically you do is get over the exit onto the battleground, and you could glitch jump up one of the mountains. This is mainly in the Arathi Basin, by the way. Up the mountains, and you basically be able to stand there and not be killed. So you basically could go out early, capture all the bases, then go up into the mountains and just stand there the rest of the game. Even though most players who did this did get banned, a few just wanted to do it. Just why not? Just to have a look at the untextured zones and just see the interesting bits. Yeah, obviously it did cause many players to be banned, as I just said, and it was obviously a major inconvenience for people who were just generally playing the game. Number 3, the ice stone has melted. Now this is a very strange glitch which occurred, I think, a few years ago now. It was basically caused by a festive quest at the time, which involved you putting your hand on a stone of ice to start the quest. When you did this, it would say the ice stone has melted. But something went tits up, and as soon as one player touched it, it started absolutely spamming the whole of the world with constant messages saying the ice stone has melted, and it kind of changed some NPCs' names to being the ice stone has melted as well. It was a really, really well spread glitch, but it wasn't really very inconvenience. It was just a lot of spam. Yeah, too much spam. Number 2, Samonite bombs. Now these were used by rogues in the battle with the Lich King, and when they were used, it would cause the platforms which had fell to come back up. Most players didn't actually realise that this was technically not supposed to happen, and many were actually banned for doing this, even though they had no intention of actually glitching. So what would do when the platform fell, they would throw a bomb down, and it would cause the platform to rise back up. Blizzard, I think, did handle this a bit bad, as they just banned everybody that did it, instead of just like saying, okay, it was our fault, we'll let you off this time. But no, they banned everyone who did it. It's kind of harsh, since it wasn't really intentional. The players that did it weren't intentionally glitching. And number 1, gaining access to GM Island. Now this is basically the place where all the GMs will hang out in order to discuss all sorts of new things to do with WoW in the game. It's basically just an island in the middle of the Azerothian Sea, near the cyclone in the middle. Players normally should not be able to access this island, obviously, because you need GM privileges to be able to get there. Now, what we would used to be able to actually get there using some sort of illegal game mechanic, but I believe that it's been fixed, or security has been tightened in another way to be able to prevent people from getting there. But I believe it is still possible, but I don't know how. Basically, what the island was, it was just a little island in the middle of the sea, which will contain all sorts of different rooms. One being a large white interrogation room, which players will be teleported to conduct questioning about illicit activities, such as, I don't know, botting, real gold, world trading, all that sort of bad stuff. So yeah, it's just a place where the game moderators would hang out and discuss future updates, and which you really shouldn't be able to get to, but you could. So that is it for the top 10 glitches in World of Warcraft. If you enjoyed, don't forget to punch that like button, leave a comment down below, and also subscribe. Also, don't forget to follow me on Twitter, which is going to be linked down below. So, last thing to say, thank you so much for watching. I have been XDarkKillerX, and I will see you all later. Goodbye for now.